The following movie is rated R.
Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. Today's guests are Jose and Paige, and we're on episode 50. So originally we all started episode 1 together, and we talked about sex scenes, and then they came back for the Valentine's Day episode. And today I have them here because since we started together, I want to finish the season with Jose and Paige. Yes! End of season 1. It's not end of the show forever, just end of season 1. And I'm planning on starting season 2 mid-January, so keep an eye out. Woo! Tell us how you guys met.
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, my name's Jose. I'm a filmmaker. I went to school with Chris back in the day. And this is my girlfriend, Paige, of course. And the way we met, it's kind of an interesting story, I think.
I'm excited to hear his point of view of how you guys
I was going to say, it is through film, so it definitely works with this podcast. It, stays on track, so that's all I'm going to say.
I really wanted to network and meet different people, and in Burbank, I found out that there was a lot of, these people from an old community that I used to be a big fan of. I'm not sure if people know about newgrounds.com, but
what is it?
It's kind of like a website where at least when I used to use it a lot, people, kids, whatever age you were, could post animations and stuff.
Oh, cool!
Original work.
Yeah, that's
work,
cool.
Stuff that you would never see.
Only animation though.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, so you could post art and animation, and it was kind of this hub for that kind of stuff.
Right.
It was kind of like YouTube meets Tumblr or
for
DeviantArt or something.
That's a good way to put it. And
I was never good at making animation.
Me neither.
For me, you wouldn't find me on it.
So I was a big fan of that, and there's that website had no filter. You can do whatever you want. As long as it was animation.
So it's rated R.
Pretty much. Exactly.
We met someone recently that has an adult swim show coming out called
Oh shit, that's sick.
And he came from that website. And so around that time, like I said, when I was in school, I was kind of reaching out to a lot of these animators that were on that website because I kind of found out that they were in the area in LA. They're all in LA because they're all trying to make it to this business.
Yeah.
And so I hit up one of my buddies named Hans.
Okay.
Just hit him up on Twitter. At that time, I was hitting up everybody just to be hey.
You kind of have to to put yourself out there. You just kind of have to message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which we'll come back to later.
It's all full circle.
We'll come full circle with that. It was between you and me later.
I genuinely wanted to make friends, not just hey, let's make movies and business. I just these people I did look up to their work a lot back in the day. So in that point, I was let me reach out to them. Maybe we can be friends. Hey, I don't know what could happen. And I didn't want to just build. As much as I love my friends from the school that I went to, I didn't want to just have that friend. I wanted to have friends from all over the place. Yeah. Just kind of open up my network a little bit.
Right.
And so I hit up a lot of these animators, and some of them were pretty big, and I'm sure the message just got lost in the fucking black hole of messages. But Hans, who was a really big animator at the time, when Newgrounds was really big. Actually reached back out to me, and he was super nice, weirdly nice. I actually admitted it to him.
You're I was shocked.
Either I'm gonna get assaulted, or he was
he's gonna kill me.
He's gonna cut me up and put me in a trench. Exactly.
Hey, we gotta meet up somewhere public. Yeah. But he was super nice. He's hey man, blah blah blah. Super super friendly. Told me to meet up with him. We met up in a
dark alleyway. Yeah. That was me. I'd be okay, this is a really cool opportunity. I'm really hoping it is what it is, but I'd worry also be I don't know.
Well, at the time,
there's so many other connotations,
right?
Whether it's
but it's just so funny how it didn't even cross your mind.
It was maybe for a split second, I was he's too nice. What's going on? But that was it.
Because I feel that's all me or us girls all the time. We're what? He's too nice.
Well, no, you have to tell people where you're going. You have to be in a public area. Location on. Is he gonna do other things?
Is there
ulterior motive?
Motives,
exactly. I didn't really worry that too much because at the time I was heavily into boxing and stuff. If anything happens, I'm sure I can defend myself. We had a lot in common. To this day, we'll talk about stuff, and I'll see Paige just being I'm gonna leave, all right, guys.
I have nothing to contribute to it. With all respect and love, I have nothing to contribute to the conversation. I'm yeah, like Spider-Man is a comic character, right?
Yeah, we nerd out.
You know?
Oh, you nerd out hard. Yeah.
Hard.
Well,
but,
anime. Honestly, I don't think I could nerd out that hard either. Like, there's certain things I'm like, I
know
like a little bit of it,
like
on the surface. But
yeah, for sure. No, you
through 3 years with you, of course. By proxy, I've absorbed more than I ever intended to.
Oh, definitely.
With peace and love.
And he invites me to be like a BTS person for a short film that he did. It was like a short series, like a web series.
That he created and started.
He's like, I'm gonna have like this big like screening at this theater here in downtown Burbank.
Okay.
The Colony Theater.
Yeah.
And he's like, would you like shoot the BTS? Do you have like a team of people that could do this for me? And I was like, yeah, of course, man. I was super eager to just like get out there and do stuff. So I was like, wow, this guy who I've seen his work and respected a lot is like wants me to do something for him. Why not? And so we go, and I had a couple of my buddies come with me. I had my close friend Chen and my buddy Aaron.
Shout out Chen and Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron,
also NIFA alumni.
Yeah.
And so they helped me out, and it was great. And then a lot of those animators, the ones I emailed and like reached out to,
were there,
and it was really cool. I got to meet them, and like,
you're like, I emailed you, or just like play it cool.
I kept the catch like, oh yeah, like I messaged you guys, but it's all good. I'm sure it got lost.
Yeah.
All of them were like really cool dudes, like super cool dudes.
Once they met you in person, like, damn, I should have responded.
The director of the web series, because Hans like helped produce it and acted in it, is Paige's best friend Chase Langley.
Okay,
shout out to Chase Langley.
Got it.
Amazing dude, like super cool, swell guy. And he didn't know me at the time because I was just there through Hans, like, and I was working and just kind of just being the guy with the camera running around the theater. And she was there, but the thing is, we never saw each other in the theater.
Oh, you didn't? Okay,
it wasn't until
I shot
when?
I shot the
videos,
behind the scenes footage. And you can see that I'm standing there, and you see like a little blonde head walk behind me. And
so you were like, blonde at the time.
I was super blonde. That's how you knew it was me. You were like, oh god, we like literally passed each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then they had an after party here at a local bar that was near the theater, and I saw Paige there, and we were just friends, like super like close. I mean, not super close, super friendly to each other.
Yeah.
She was with another friend, and it seemed like we were like just. It wasn't like me like having like, the fuck me eyes.
Right.
It
was just good vibes all around.
It was like natural.
Cool.
Exactly. Just like gravitated
super
towards each other.
Nice.
Right.
And what made it funny at the time for me is like this guy was there, and he was like getting super super drunk, and he started like saying like racial slurs and stuff out loud as if he could.
To you or to her?
No, he was just
in general.
Just like in the middle of the
whoever
bar.
Yeah. Oh god.
I'm like, this guy has like the audacity to say that.
Yeah, no, that's
the caucasity, as I would say.
He has the caucasity to say this.
I love it. The new term.
At a public bar, and so I kind of
no one's
laughing,
saying like everyone's just kind of like.
I started laughing just because of how like I was like, bro, you got balls, bro. And there's people
that
who
is
do.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Paige is like just starts popping off at this guy, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's the type of guy that just like he was not like letting it down, like he wasn't letting go.
He thinks that like gag extra humor was funny, I guess. So like he just kept like he like grabbed a random black guy and like asked him if he could get like the pass, and I was like, in what world? So I went off. It was me and my friend too. I have to give credit out to Sarah. Like,
no, but you were the one. She was kind of being like quiet, just being like, I'm shunning you, but you were the one like.
Oh hell no! Yeah.
And I was just having a ball. Like I was laughing so hard because this guy, like when people like are just digging themselves in a deeper,
and you're just like, shut up, dude. Like just.
But I didn't want him to shut up because he just kept making himself look worse.
Right.
And so I was just like, Paige was just ripping him under the asshole, and I was just.
And that's when you knew.
Yeah.
He was like, "There's something there."
She was the one. So then after that, like the guy kind of like gave up and clearly realized that he did wrong or whatever.
Right.
He disappeared, whatever. The situation was handled, and then me and Paige like became friends.
Started talking more because of that,
And it was just friends.
Right.
We're just like, we're gonna be friendly, and then I think like maybe it was like a week or two later, she invites me over to like Davy Wayne's. I don't know if you know where that's.
No, it was like 2 days later.
Later.
I was going to Vegas for 4th of July, so the premiere literally the premiere happened on the 1st. I think we went out on the 3rd, and then I was in Vegas for 4th of July.
Oh shit! Okay.
So I got to hang out with them there, and like I said, it wasn't like any like fuck me eyes. I think on both our parts, it was more just like you're cool, I'm cool, let's hang out.
You're cool, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing because we invited Hans out, we invited the other actor.
It was a group setting, so like you never really had the like moment to be alone to be like, hey, like
Exactly. And like Chase, poor Chase was at home editing.
So,
oh my god, I'm done.
And then there was like a big gap in between like when we met, but like we were kind of in contact with just as friends.
Yeah.
So I was really busy like with school and like shooting some stuff.
I know the NIFA programs are no joke too. Like I feel like it's hard to like have or like meet someone new and then like try to form a relationship during that program. Yeah. Like if you already know people and you're just like, making your relationship stronger. They understand your schedule and like. But I feel like the long distance people, like where it was like couples came from another state and then like their other person didn't understand like the severe intensity of the program, and it's like, why aren't you texting me? Like, why aren't you? Like
I haven't slept in like 2 days.
The school told me that I wasn't allowed to get a job.
Me too. When they told me that, I thought they were joking. I laughed. I was like, no, but like seriously, and they're like, no, but like seriously, like you shouldn't be looking for a job while you're in this program. And I was like work. I can't like just expect to like have everything paid for.
We have loans here. Take some.
Like, well, you helped him a lot on his films and like projects. So like. How many months into the relationship, or even like, were you guys even dating when that started happening?
Oh no, yeah, I think we were definitely.
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because we just
Halloween,
Halloween we hooked up, and that was
so that was kind of like.
The first,
the first like
so October,
Okay. I saw him in his Red Ranger spandex, and I saw his thighs, and I was like, this is about to go down.
This is for me.
Like I started feeling stuff, and then we just started hanging out. That's why I'm saying like the joke is like, oh, we're not officially dating. Everything like as corny in LA as it sounds, please do not hate me. It's like happened so organically. It was so organic.
Never been something that happened.
Right.
Was very new.
So got it.
Like which I love, by the
way.
No, it's just like there was no pressure for like the labels and stuff. We just knew what it was, and it wasn't until like I think.
Well, you gotta use the exact words.
What?
Like we were like, I'm exclusive. That's what
it was. That's what it was. Yes,
I'm exclusive to you, and you're exclusive to me.
Oh, okay. So that
instead of like, and it took some time to get there because like we were both being exclusive to each other without saying it because we didn't want to like, like, oh, like this, like that, your pressure, whatever. It's LA. We're young. Like it's
worrying
crazy,
about whatever. Oh, Guard was your thesis.
No, Guard was my intermediate. My thesis was Desolate.
Okay, so that's when you,
which hasn't come out yet.
Was that the first? Was that the first project that you started helping him on?
No, I helped you on the music video. Remember for
yes, remember
in February, and we didn't even. Okay, that's why I'm saying
a commercial or a music video.
Who did you offer? Did you ask? Like, how did that happen?
No, she definitely offers. Like, she's like always like, oh,
I was like, if you want help, like I have time.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to help. I think I did makeup on like that one because it was just like getting like girls cute and like obviously with the lashes and the everything. I'm like, I can do that. So it was like, I like help the girls out with that, and then from there it just like
which helps
being,
a lot
like,
too, especially when you want to save money,
right? But I think
so. She did. That was the first project she helped me, and then like after that, it was.
And we were for sure exclusive at that point, but like we didn't have the talk of "I love you." That came 2-3 months later, so it was like that's why I'm saying I was like, it depends on how you look at it. I was like, it was like a slowly growing, forming thing. So it's like, we were exclusive, but there wasn't the I love you yet, but there was that bond. So it's like, I guess it depends on how you look at it. But then, I went into thesis season, and like,
for anyone who doesn't know, she does real estate. That's like her main thing, but she's a woman of many talents. So
if you're looking to buy or sell in LA, give me a call. But,
exactly.
Well, no, Priscilla gave me an opportunity, not to jump forward again, but Priscilla gave me an opportunity. Just think of like how it, like I met him at a premiere to now I'm assistant directing a documentary with her. So like that's pretty cool to see that growth in 3 years.
I know. That's why I'm so interested. Like, I just want to hear like how it all started for you. Like, were you like intimidated ever to be like, I don't know, or were you always like, no, I got it? Like
that's the thing. She's from New York, so like
she
is scared she ain't gonna show.
She ain't gonna show.
So,
which I love.
Yeah, the music video for sure was like the first thing she helped out in,
which was makeup, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's been different positions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm like interested to hear that too.
Yeah.
Like, so and which ones you feel comfortable? Like, which ones you like more versus like?
Well, I did PA for a long time, but I'm really liking the assistant directing. So I don't know, Chris. Maybe you opened another new door.
I know, right? You're like, I'm never going back.
Oh, you're gonna say PA who?
The music video helped out there, and then like I remember that she like loaded up the truck all by herself, like fixed it.
I loaded a U-Haul like Tetris. I'll give myself that credit. I loaded a U-Haul like Tetris. All the grips literally were like smoking cigs and sitting on the curb. I was like, I got this. I was like me trying to impress him. I was trying to impress him, so I literally loaded the U-Haul damn near by myself. Grips were just
probably did impress him. Yeah.
No, like it's true, like,
he's like
100% to impress him.
So legit, I was like, yeah, she's down. She's super down to help, and she was telling me, like, let me help you and all that stuff. And then I started introducing her to a lot of like you guys, and
and your film friends,
school. And like everyone like really dug her, and like people started kind of like being like, I think it's funny that Paige, I personally think she didn't have to do it, but I feel like the reason that everyone loves her is because she kind of like proved it to everybody that she's like a better guy for people.
Yeah.
So, the thing that I
which I agree.
Thank you.
So my thesis was like the last slot,
right?
And for NIFA, it's like the students can help you out to make the film that you want to make,
right?
And they don't charge you any money.
Yeah,
and so
like students aren't supposed to charge each other. Supposed to.
Really
Keyword there.
Supposed to. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
I always wanted to be really ambitious with my ideas, right? So I always wanted like these big fucking ideas that I would think of. And I knew that I needed a lot of manpower to do it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck. So I was like, well, I don't want to just start asking people and then like, I don't know. I feel like if you want something, you gotta have to pay your dues for it, kind of thing. It's like, hey, I like scratch your back.
Yeah.
So like, I helped out in everyone's thesis, like every single slot.
Right.
I was like,
I'll be there.
You
I think he literally did everyone's.
I think I remember.
It's like 14 movies in like 2 months.
I like barely saw him,
but that's why you have a good portfolio. Honestly, you know. So it was like a lot of work, but I think that's what set you up.
Because like you only had to do 3, and then you could graduate. And
you only had to do 3, and you did 14. You did like 5 times the amount.
And I think Paige literally did like 80% of them with me.
I did actually.
Oh my God. You literally were like, "Are we in this together?"
The
literally,
that she didn't do, or like for people that she personally didn't really know, and I didn't really know. It was more like a favor for a person,
right?
Like, hey, I can't do this. Can you take over for me?
Yeah,
and that's kind of why Paige wouldn't do some of those, but like she did like 80% of them.
That's
after that, like everyone was like, Paige is like the real deal. Like she's like the loyal homie, and stuff. And like she never complained and like, being on top of it, and
right? And not being in the being in the film industry, like how did you feel about that? Were you just like cool jumping into it, or was it like a little different than like what you're used to?
It was such a different beast. So like, you know, I grew up in New York and I did like commercial stuff when I was little. I did a lot of like musical theater and acting, dancing I did for so many years. So like I was always involved in like the arts, but like for films, I never really did films. I had done a couple short films out here as favors to friends as an actress. So like I was in front of the camera.
Right. Which is way different than like setting up fucking shit.
So
like carrying
I'm trying to find her. You won't be able to find her.
Was it like
not look for me?
Did you
please?
feel like, oh, it's not as glamorous as like people make it seem? Or did you already know? Like did you already have an insight into it?
To this day, she's still a little like put off of some of the
how it is.
Some of the what do you mean?
Like the totem pole, like the raking system.
Oh,
like
I agree.
I agree with it too.
The
like
like filmmaking,
just the fact that they even have like above the line, like
that phrase is so disrespectful. I think there's a lot of people.
The one that bothers her, I know.
Which one?
Go ahead.
Which one?
Like where like. And I blame NIFA for this, but like,
which one?
Like treat people with respect. But the fact that we have to like jerk the actors off.
Oh
set,
my God!
Like, Master, I'm here to help you, Master. Paige hates that.
Yeah.
Literally.
She's like, why the fuck do I have to like demean myself to like help you out? Who the fuck are you?
But it's like you should be talking like that respectfully to your grip. You should be talking that respectfully to your, you know, third or fourth or whatever camera assistant. If that's
not
even
just
you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not just. Of course, it's important. They're the face of your movie. I get it. Like when Jose explained it to me, it makes sense. Like they're supposed to be delivering it,
right?
But there's sometimes
there's so many other people also helping out.
There's a line. There's a line.
But the line is that, and like I guess again, this is like the objective part of it is that coming in and saying, whoa, like it's crazy to watch. And like I think more people are calling it out, especially with like IATSE and all these strikes and stuff happening, people demanding better. Yeah. You see, oh God, like, you know, best producer, best director, best this. And it's like, yes, you did do a huge part of it, but you have literally 2,000 other people underneath you that put it together, that even if like 10 or 15 of them didn't do their job.
Like, on those big sets, they don't even know the PA's names.
And, exactly. And
it's like, crazy. I was looking at the call sheet and then like, because on my job, I'm like, I'm helping the COVID testing. And I'm like, yeah, this person got COVID tested and this person. And then one of the PAs was like, yeah, I don't know who that is. And I was like, that's the director.
I know, right?
It's like they didn't know each other, and I was like,
"No,
that is so weird."
I personally think, and you can agree with me too, and you've done it with me personally a couple times. PAs are like the most unsung heroes,
dude. Yeah,
they work just as hard as any other position.
They do.
They do not. They get
no credit.
No credit. You know, like
they overwork
grips get half the credit. We get no credit.
Yeah.
Like trust. Like I've seen like some
for grips. I'm like the heavy lifting. I just feel so bad for like. I'm like they're literally breaking their backs.
Literally,
and they're not getting.
But I see what it is too. But like with PAs, it's like you're basically like a grip without the title of getting a grip.
But you're everything.
You're everything.
You're everything.
Depending on how, like,
you're
where everything needs you to
assistant,
fill the space, that's where they're putting
your personal assistant, production assistant, grab this, grab that, give me this,
drive to
that.
Starbucks,
get everybody
anything they need you to do.
And it's fine. That's like part of it, but it's like the lack of, I think, recognition that goes with it. That's the part that shocked me. So like the cool thing is that I've been on some sets where I'm like, this is really cool.
Right.
You know, like maybe not like, you know, maybe a Spielberg set is more glamorous, but I've been on some sets that are like pretty cool. But like for the most part, it's especially the cool thing for me is I've always worked with like the friends, like, you know, you guys and everybody comes to LA, and like maybe this is a huge generalization. Please do not come for me, influencers. But like,
don't cancel us,
please. I don't want to get canceled before Christmas. But it's like I feel like everybody comes to LA. Like someone years ago started this idea that like this is the way we do it, and we're just always going to do it this way.
It's like it's been like this forever.
Exactly.
If I suffer, then you deserve to suffer.
Yes,
it's that.
I see that a lot. I see that a lot. I suffer, so you have to suffer.
It's almost like a fraternity thing. Like
the hazing, right?
And it's like I got hazed really bad, so that means that I want to haze you because I don't want you to make it.
Like you can't have it easier. Yeah. Which isn't that fucking crazy? Like
but
why are we
malicious?
But why is society like that? Like why is it not like, oh, you know, it was fucked up how it used to be, but like let's do it this way now, because honestly the way that it has just been shit.
Well, the thing I always tell Jose is, like, be the change you wish to see. So it's like, I think these people come out to LA, whether it's, like, the influencers, the actors, whatever it is, like, fame-hungry directors, like, or producers, whatever your thing is, especially around, like, the entertainment industry, they come out here and they think, oh, I have to be this certain way. Yeah. And then they just fall into this trope, this, like, very silly, stereotypical trope that it's just like, oh, I remember hearing that this director used to, like, make this actress cry for her scene to get a better performance. And I'm like, that is legitimately not okay. That's exactly. Like, that is a form of abuse. You cannot do that. And it's like, you know, I think it's just the concept of being able to be better and do better and like actually go forward to make the change to be better. Because I always say to him, be the change you want to see. As corny as it sounds, fucking first grade. I was
literally saying
poster,
in my last episode, I was just like, it was like stressing me out, like seeing these people. Like there's people on these big sets that are like honestly up until like 75 years old. Like it's like 18 to 75. And I'm just like, they're working overtime. They're working these like crazy hours. Like you would think by like when you hit that age of like 50, you're like, yeah, like I don't have to work like 12 hours plus overtime, break my back. Like, you know what I mean? You would think like, oh, all my experience by now has like let me like chill. Like
you deserve
allowed
me
to chill, right?
You guys need to be the change. You guys are the directors.
Think about it, like,
how do you
writers. How do you have a family like that? Like how do you do all that when you're like on? You have to be on set.
I think right now our generation is definitely at the cusp of this new change. The industry's changing, and I feel like we're at that age right now where we're getting like a front row seat of what's happening right now. All these like old heads and like big wigs that had these old-fashioned methods of running Hollywood are kind of like either dying or passing the torch.
All morbid, they're dying. Or in jail.
Yeah, or in jail.
For getting exposed.
Touching butts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I mean,
like
we got to call that shit out too.
There's a lot of people that are like big names that are in the forefront of this change right now. Like,
that's
like
true.
One name that came up right now that I know he's really big, and I know he's doing a lot of changes. Michael B. Jordan.
Oh yes,
He like enacted that not law, but like that rule for himself. Like you know, he's like a very sought after.
Yeah, he's like an
after actor. Everyone wants him in the movie. And he said there has to be like a equal ratio of races in a movie, especially because
which I agree.
Everything is like so white. It's like he said that it has to be like a perfect ratio of different races. Like shooting in his movie specifically, and like that might bother some people
that like blend these movies with like, oh, they're putting this race here. You go to a Starbucks, you're gonna see everybody.
It's crazy because not even that long ago were like females really like respected as something in the film industry. And now I feel like the last like 5 years it's been really it's been coming up.
It's only gonna happen faster. Like I said, I think we're in the forefront of witnessing some big changes going on. And I think that these old heads are also noticing it because they're trying, at least like the good directors that haven't done anything fucked up are moving with the time.
And there's good and bad in every industry, right?
But,
like,
you know, it's like people like us, like these new age filmmakers that gotta keep that train moving. Because if you let it slow down, then you know, nothing happens.
Definitely.
Peekaboo 3 which is a horror series of shorts that I made from like the beginning of college to like as of recently. I had one release in October.
On Halloween. So tell me about your experience with Peekaboo 3 and your journey. Like, where did it start? How did it start? Where'd you get the idea? Like, how did it all happen?
So, Peekaboo is a short film series that I started doing when I was a freshman in college. It was actually a project that I had assigned to me by the school, which was basically like making this like a short film without using any sound. Like dialogue sound,
which is hard to do.
Yeah, and so I made
what is that called again?
It was called the non-sync, I think.
Non-sync, yeah,
something like that. And I made this horror short called Peekaboo, and I just made it for fun.
It's the best part, the fact that you made it for fun and it was such a success and it hit the way that it did.
Yeah,
I feel like that's even better. Like when you're not expecting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So that's what happened. So like I made this horror short, and I wanted to make like a very short, sweet horror short that basically revolved around the most like obvious movie horror cliches there are. And the short blew up on YouTube, and like to this day, it's like peaking at like 6.5 million.
Dude, views. That's so cool.
On Laserbot, look up Laserbot.
Laserbot Films, right?
Laserbot Films, Laserbot on YouTube.
Wait, so tell me, like, what does it feel like to have a video on YouTube that has 6 million views? Like you're literally like,
and like a diehard audience. Like every year, people come back and go, "I'm watching this for the 5th year in a row." Like
that's so cute. You have a fan base.
Literally,
that's so cute.
Laserbot.
What does that feel like? Because I mean, it's one feeling to like see your audience in like a theater and like have them react, but then like having, you know, a audience online on a platform that's, you know, hard to have that kind of audience. Like, what is it feel like?
So I'm very harsh with myself, and like when I see that, it was definitely surprising. That I thought it was cool, and like, that's why I made 2 other shorts that revolved around Peekaboo. Because I wanted like to like make the fan base happy,
right?
But it for sure was a little surreal at the beginning because I kind of like forgot about the movie. I posted it, and then like a friend of mine was like, "Hey, your movie's like,
streaming?
Oh shit!" And it got me some cool little job opportunities.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah,
and that was really cool. But like seeing Peekaboo now, I'd be like, oh, that's like a school project I can do. Like, so. Do
you feel like you can do it better now when you look back? It's so fun. Like your heart is critic. Yeah, your heart is just critic. You're like looking at it. You're like, no, I could have done this. Like I feel like I feel that with all the stuff.
I'm always like that with myself. To this day, I'll be like that with any movie that I make. The way it worked out was
I want to hear this. But
it was another school assignment. It was another
school one. Another school
project.
And so like basically our cinematography teacher was like, all right, look guys, I can teach you a lesson. Okay, we're gonna go to the Universal backlot.
Yes.
And he was like, I'm gonna either I can teach you a lesson or let's make a fucking movie there. It's like, when are you gonna make a movie at a place like that for free, basically?
Yeah. Wow. Honestly, see, it's like depending on the teachers you have, I feel like it really like
shout out to Joe. And so we had 2 days in one of the Desperate Housewives
houses.
And so the way it worked was like whoever wanted to pitch a movie idea would pitch the next day like what they wanted to do, and then as a class they would vote which one to do. And so my movie got voted by the whole class, and so everyone was like, all right, let's make your movie. And so I had to write a script and shot list in one day, and then and then the next day we would shoot it.
Shit, that's pressure because you want to post and you want it to be good, but it's also like one day of like coming up with this
and
juicy
I had no
content.
idea for Peekaboo. I was just like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
And I forgot who it was, but someone gave me the idea to kind of like try to connect the movie universe together.
Yes.
And I was also very, very broke. So I had no money.
It's expensive to make a movie. Even if it's like a short film and you think like, oh, it's only gonna be like 5 or 10 minutes long. It's like,
I think every minute's like $1,000. I think
I feel like it does equal out like that because even if you have like the location covered, it's like you have to get like permits or pay your crew. Like in
crafty food.
Luckily, we didn't have to pay. Like you didn't have to pay anyone in that situation because they're students. But
we mainly it was mainly just for like props, and I was just trying to make the movie using whatever
like literally
assets that I had.
Exactly.
Already. So we shot the second Peekaboo, and it was really cool. It was a good experience. We used like really heavy duty equipment instead of like the Canon.
Right. It was like the final, like the red camera.
Yeah. Sexy red cameras and the cool jib and all that stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
It was like stressful because I did it again. Like I thought of an idea that was too much for like the allotted amount of time that we were given. We had 6 hours each day in those 2 days. So,
did you have to cut scenes out or something?
No. We just kind of rushed it. I remember that at one point when we were on lunch, everyone left, and I'll admit this now because I graduated. But
I know. Now that I graduated, I'm like, you know what? This is how I really feel.
So all the TAs and the teacher left, and they were like, "You're not allowed to touch the equipment, or you're like kicked out."
Oh,
so I was like, "Fuck, all right, like I get it." And then we didn't get to shoot this one scene, and Joe was even telling us that it was a little too difficult to shoot because we didn't prepare for it, and we're like trying to pull this shot out of our ass. Okay. And I remember the way this house is set up. It's like literally like a bare bones house. Like there's no roof, even though it looks like there is. And I remember we saw like rope hanging off the roof, and we wanted to do this gag, like a wonder where like the door opens up and shuts or whatever.
Right.
And so we shot it during lunch, and we did like 10 takes of it, and we could not like watch the footage over again because we didn't want to get caught and get as many shots as possible. And so we got that shot then, and like the whole thing was just such a cool experience, and it's just like one of those moments where I'll like really remember fondly because I did it with a lot of cool friends too.
Right.
And so I did that, and then that movie also is doing pretty well. I think it's like at 40K right now.
50, I think. 50.
But I also released it in 2020, so it was like
during
years, years after.
Oh, after. Why did you wait so long?
The school just got busy.
And because he went through the film festival circuit and won like 20 awards for it. Let's not be
okay. So you're being modest.
Exactly.
So like, how do you feel like? Do you think it was a better choice to just throw it on YouTube right away, or do you feel like it was a better choice?
I wanted to test out with the.
Didn't it get distributed once?
Yeah, it got like a contract to be distributed on like, a horror website,
like where you could make money off of it.
Yeah,
okay.
Which I gave them like my bank information, so they
not because they said anything.
I have never checked my bank information to got any money off of it.
And maybe you did just don't
He's
know.
the most forgetful person with that. I'd be like, I forgot I did that.
I'm also part of a YouTube network, like a YouTube channel. Yeah. And like sometimes I'll just get
so how does that work?
Like they'll just send you money like every month for however many views your videos get.
Yeah.
And like I remember especially like after Peekaboo, I would like see like $100 a month on my video. I'm like, where the fuck does money come from?
I signed a contract with an entire group of YouTube people. Like
when he signed his first like $10 million deal.
I'm sorry, Cartoon Network. He works technically through Cartoon Network.
Oh shit! Dude, I used to watch Cartoon Network all the time.
So yeah, so going back, I did Peekaboo, and then I did.
But which one do you recommend? Like, what do you think's better? Like if for filming, like would you say YouTube right away or
for that movie specifically?
Well, okay, let's say like someone listening and they're like, all right, I have a short film. Like, do I put it out on YouTube or should I like do the film festival?
See, like the thing with film festivals that I learned, that's why I wanted to test it out with Garden. And Peekaboo. Peekaboo 2. It's very, very expensive. Yeah. The reason that it kind of worked out for me is because last year was all online. There was no in-person festival.
Right.
So you didn't have to pay these extra fees that sometimes get ridiculous.
Oh, what were the extra? Because I submitted Miha during
so you have to make
pandemic
this thing called the DCP, which is a digital cinema package, and it basically converts your film to be like compatible with like projectors.
Oh, basically, really? I didn't know that.
And like it's like $100 a minute or $100 every 30 seconds.
No, it's not.
It's really expensive. It's really expensive.
Are you serious? Wait, I didn't know this because I did the same thing. I submitted Miha during the pandemic, so it was all online stuff. Yeah. Never had. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, it's not that expensive.
So, like, I had a 15-minute movie, and it's during the pandemic when no one's working. I was like DCPs wouldn't make sense.
Right.
And so I remember that Chen, my close buddy Chen, he did a DCP in 2018 for one of his shorts. I think his short was like 3 minutes long. It cost like $800. So it's fucking crazy.
Bro, that's crazy.
And I had 2 films at the time that I wanted through the festival. So
it's like, how can you afford that? Like, if you're like literally
But that's the thing is that it's a privilege. That's why I'm sorry. Like, again, please don't come for me, influencers. But these nepo babies, the nepotism babies. It's like, sorry. The nepo babies, little nepotism babies, like that's why things are able to get done because your dad, your uncle, your mom, your sister, your cousin, your aunt is an actress or a famous director or like this or that. Like they always have somebody. Yeah. So of course it's easy for them. Oh, how did she get this opportunity so young? Because her freaking mom is
pay the $800.
Exactly. It's like it's impossible.
That's so like honestly, like I wouldn't be able to afford that. Like it's my movie was 17 minutes long. Like
exactly, and it's very discouraging, especially too. Like not to put his stuff on blast, but it's not like Jose was made of money. He grew up in a working class family. Like, he's out here on student loans. It's ridiculous.
And student loans is already, like, so much to pay back, and then you have to think about film festivals, and then trying to make your
Imagine traveling to get there. The 2-day hotel, the flight, all that other stuff, too.
That's insane, like...
And imagine you don't even get selected, or you lose.
Exactly.
Like, really shitty is that?
A really good...
Which happens,
documentary, I guess you would call it, you can watch on YouTube for free, is made by Darius Britt, who's this this filmmaker who makes like very like real life drama movies. Yeah, and he kind of like made this documentary that kind of like sheds light and follows like his journey through the film festival circuit of one of his feature films. Yeah, and shit you not, like the amount of money that guy spent just to get one film to be noticed. Wow, and the thing is that he would like apply to like these big festivals, and he was spending thousands of pounds upon thousands of dollars, and like none of these festivals would accept him. And it's just like, oh, that's just money down the drain.
You're going to take your money whether you win or lose. That's the problem. Is that they don't really care how many people submit because they're going to cash out.
And you know what's crazy? They get you with the trophies too.
Of course. You have to pay for your own trophy, right?
Yes. Oh. So I won. They're like, I got so excited because I got an email like, you won. Like, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm finally going to get a trophy, because at the other one that I got, it was like a certificate, like on a nice piece of paper. And I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. It wasn't a trophy, but I was like, that's cool, I have a certificate. But this one, they're like, you know, get your trophy, like order it. And then I wasn't able to go because it's in Canada. So I was like, all right, like I want to get it, right? I check it and it's like $125 for the trophy. And I was like, I thought I won. Like I thought like I deserved for you to send it to me, like for free or
at least maybe shipping and handling you'll pay for.
I'm like, really? I'm like, really? And then I kind of just didn't get it because I was like, I don't really want to buy this trophy for myself. Like it didn't feel like the same because it wasn't like gifted to me. Like I didn't feel like I earned it. It was like I'm paying for it.
And didn't you already pay to be in this festival anyway?
Exactly. So it was like a weird.
What about all the money they got from the people that like
I
lost?
won, but I feel like I'm paying for the win, even though like you're saying that I won. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So that's kind of what happened with me with Peekaboo too. It did the film festival circuit.
Yeah,
I personally feel
and it did well.
I did that test. Yeah, it won awards. So did Gar. Yeah, and like I wanted to see how that world was because the film that I'm very excited for to release to the film festival circuit was Desolate. So I kind of wanted to do
Have you done it already?
No.
You haven't started yet.
I'm planning to do it 2022. I'm just waiting for stuff to open up for that.
Right. So you want to actually go in person.
It's like 80% done, though. He spent the whole 2020, thankfully. Like, he was able to actually make do with the time editing it. So, like, he
so what I saw is that the final cut?
No, it's not.
Okay, so you're still you're doing more to it from what I saw. Okay, got it.
Touching it up and make sure.
So once you do that, then you're going to submit it to film festivals.
Exactly. And, like, I'm optimistic about that movie,
and you want to see it in person, like you don't want to see it on.
That
especially when you're spending that kind of money.
It was like so much blood, sweat, and tears, but like straight up just fucking love from
love
like, the whole crew. Like,
okay,
like,
dude,
she lost her fucking car. From like it's like her car was like on its last legs when that movie was over. She had to like sell her car because it was, like,
2 days later. Then I was driving home, one of the castmates, and I was like, "Sweetheart, I just want to let you know." And she looks at me, and I was like, you might have to tuck and roll out of the car. I don't know if the brakes are working.
Oh my God.
It was, if you see the movie,
that's a ride or die.
It was literally like going in circles. They were throwing one on it, and like it was cold, and it was just like, and fair enough, I was like okay with it, but it was just like, you know, my car was on its last leg. Yeah. And so literally, like, when I stopped, like, this screeching sound of metal scraping, I was like,
no.
Oh, and she was like, bye. And I was like, I was so embarrassed, but
legit. So like that movie was like made with so much,
like so many.
My parents were there. They were
okay.
His mom worked for like hours in the morning. She wake up at 5 a.m. to cook for like a crew of like 40 people.
Wow. So that's why it was like a little. It's not that it was like
we were just putting all our efforts into it, and it's not like we had the money for it. Like honestly, I think like half of the budget was.
So do you feel like you had more of the budget for like your first film? Or for
I had more. I had a bigger budget for my intermediate, which I personally like. I love what it was, but like I'm a different filmmaker now.
Okay,
I had a bigger budget for that.
Why would you say? What do you mean by that? Like you're different. Like you're different.
Oh, it's just like I was still in film school and I was learning like my craft still.
Right, still figuring out like what
I'm still learning to this day, but I'm definitely a different filmmaker from what I was at that time.
Okay.
But Guard was funded through Kickstarter, and that's how it made.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yes.
And then Desolate was just funded straight through me, and so like I was.
Like, and what was the difference for you for that? Because like I mean I've never really had a successful like Kickstarter campaign where I was able to like have that side. Like I remember like hearing, you know, people from school like, yeah, my Kickstarter, and I was like, fuck, like I wish I could get like funded and stuff. But so everything that I've done has been out of pocket, and it's honestly so fucking stressful. Like it does take away some of the love and the passion for like the joy from it. Just because like you're looking at your bank account and you're like, you're literally like, I can't eat because I have to pay this person. Yep. And like for me, like I'm like, I feel bad. Like I don't want to have people like waiting on me, like, you know, even like longer than a week of like, I owe them money. Like it gets awkward. Right. And it like,
that's how it was for me.
And I know, like, I feel like you're the same way. Like it's not like that for everyone, but it's like, I feel like that pressure of like, oh fuck, like, you know, I have to have the money in the account. Like if I don't have it, like it's not happening. Like it's just like so stressful. And then like, you know, it's like, you know, like you can't expect people to be able to just like survive and like wait like months at a time. So it like definitely puts this like extra pressure on you because you're like, all these other people are depending on me as well. You know,
straight up. So that it was like a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
Like one, it's not like I had the money for it. My parents didn't help.
Right.
I don't even remember where the fuck I got that money from.
Yeah.
I must have sucked like a dick.
Jose.
I really
wait for
disclaimer.
I remember.
What?
You worked on a project, and you were able to take the money you earned from the project.
Oh, okay. So you worked on someone else's?
I worked on some stuff that got me some money. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That did pay a lot of it.
But see, that just shows right there, like, it was such a stressful and, like, hard time. He had to almost black it
right before. Literally, it was 2 weeks before he shot that he was working somebody else's, like, project that was presented to him. And then he had to be in that mindset while it was like 2 weeks away. Cause like, you know how it was like the month before, it's like a wedding almost. It's like, oh,
well, it's like all you talk about, all you think about.
We're like literally, and he's out here like, you know, bringing a someone else's vision to life. And it's like, that's great. You can't think about
yours.
But you know, and then he was able to do that. I think it was just that on top of the love, because there was a lot of love that came from me, his friend Juan that came from the Bay Area to come down and help, his parents, his mom that was, like I said, every day for what we shot for 4 or 5 days for Des.
Like everyone was like
putting
their they
put their whole ass into it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like the crew that was there is
of course,
like, bro, guys, I owe you. You know who you are. That wasn't necessary.
Yeah,
I owe you guys so much. Like that's probably one of my fondest memories. Like you were part of it too. It was beautiful. My parents like one of the coolest things I ever got to hear from my dad. Because like my parents are very old fashioned, so like they don't understand the filmmaking.
Not at all. No.
Like, they don't understand my passion for it, but they don't understand. They think like, oh, just point the camera.
Literally, like, that's why. No, my parents will listen to the podcast and like, oh, really? It's like that? Or like, oh, you do that?
And I'm like, and my dad he's a labor worker. You know, so he's very into like, if you don't get your hands dirty, you and like,
but you're getting your hands dirty, but in like a different type of way, right?
So he was there, right? And I remember, like, I still remember to this day. He looked at me, and goes, "Hey, bro, like this filmmaking shit ain't no joke. Like, I didn't know it was like this. Like, this shit's hard." And I was like,
thank
you. That meant so much to me. Oh my god, thank you. And he's all like, "Yeah, y'all, like, you're not playing. Like, this is like tough, dude. I want to be able to do this." And then like after that, I got like the validation was really cool, but it was more like the understanding. Like you get
like he sees it. He sees you.
Like this sacrifice that I personally feel like I had to put myself through to get to where I am right now, and it's not to say where I am right now is where I want to be, but I for sure is this evolution of the filmmaker that I want to be. I feel like now that I have this, like I know she understands, but like my family, who I'm very close to, now understands. They're like, keep at it. Like,
like you even have a bigger support system now. Yeah,
and like they all love like the team dynamic that I had with everybody. Like it was just straight love. Like everyone was there. So that movie's very important to me. So that's why I want it to be in person festivals, and I'm very like optimistic to like have it see it on the big screen and be like, holy fuck, like we did it.
I know. I'm glad that you brought that up because that makes sense. Because I was like, why wouldn't you want to send it out already? You know, and like have it be seen, but like that's something you don't want to rush.
Exactly.
You know, that's like personal.
That's like my little baby for now. It's like the thing I'm most proud of out of my filmography right now.
Really?
But there's more stuff in the future, but I want to go back a little bit. So I did Peekaboo 2. It got its festivals, did my toes in the festival world to understand like kind of like the ecosystem of that.
Right. It's weird, huh?
Yeah. And then 2020 kind of like it's just a shit year, you know what I'm saying? So not much creativity.
Did you direct anything in 2020? Did you?
The Death Punch, the road reel contest.
Yeah, that
was it was very small.
Yeah,
but it was something to get the juices.
But you were working.
He was working for Filmocracy. He was doing the edits for Desolate,
and you were working on other sets.
Exactly.
But you which honestly, like that happens. Like I feel like you have to have some downtime like on your own stuff to like really appreciate it the next time you do. You're like, fuck, I'm better.
Exactly. But I was like, so eager, and you're like,
oh yeah, of course.
I was like, I need to make stuff.
Well, he was definitely stifled.
So is that when you started working on like other positions that were more like heavy lifting stuff?
Yeah. So 2021 rolled by after horrible 2020. Like that kind of kept me kind of creatively, especially working with her. Kind of she got her acting chops with the voice work stuff.
That's true. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I worked for a company called Filmocracy.
Right.
I still work with them technically.
Yeah.
So they're like this, like imagine like Netflix but for indie film. And they're a big advocate for like independent film, self-produced films, like, and they kind of want to.
It's probably like the perfect halfway between festival meets YouTube.
Yeah.
You actually get the love and care that your baby deserves. Exactly.
It's like an outlet for
exactly.
These independent filmmakers to have a way to show their film, because like what you said, it's like, oh, do you want to do film festivals or do you want to do YouTube?
Every time I have a project, I don't know.
That's the kind of merge of like,
and it's like I don't have that kind of following for it to be a YouTube like
posting like 10 views.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, okay, it's like, do you really want to just like post on YouTube and lose out on?
That's what Filmocracy is, where it's like they want that this hub of filmmakers for filmmakers critiquing, talking about film, and at the same time they also host people's film festivals. So like if you want like to create the automated podcast film festival.
Yeah,
they can post it online and in person for you. So they do that. Cool. So they're kind of like that.
Maybe one day could happen.
Really
anything
cool.
can happen.
So if you guys need a place to post your indie films and you want somewhere where people watch it, check out Filmocracy. It's free, so you can make an account now.
Amazing.
But back to what I was saying. 2021 rolled by, and then the world started opening up. We started getting good signs of
things going
the light
at the end of the tunnel. That's what it was. The light at the end of the tunnel.
And I started working heavily on PA work with commercials. A lot of commercials.
Yeah, I remember that. You were working on
a couple times with you on commercial stuff,
which was weird. Like we were working on set together, but we were both working positions that we were like obviously like not trying to fully pursue full time, but it was like to stay active to have money coming in.
Be around that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it was definitely. I mean, obviously it's always fun working together, but it was definitely one of the harder positions where I was like, fuck, like, is this what it's like, you know?
That day,
that was so sad. Oh my God.
Well, we worked so late too. Like we were there at like 9 a.m. I feel like, and we didn't get back to like 2:30.
Literally. I think he stumbled in at like
the truck, so I got there at 6.
Oh shit. You got there that early?
I was the last one to leave because they made me move the trash. They
literally, that's like not okay. That's the part where it's like I'm still an outsider because I never did the film school thing. Like I have all the stuff that I've done and currently do, and like behind the scenes, in front of the camera, all of that. So I guess I've had a taste of everything, which gives me like somewhat of a leg to stand on with that, but I wouldn't say I'm in it the way you guys are. Like, you know, I'll always help out, but I don't have a passion of my own to pursue it. I'm just always here to help. Yeah. And it's like, to see that, I'm like, that's the part that needs to change, in my opinion, soon. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to talk about like crazy sets of 2021, that was like definitely like crazy to be asleep. I was already asleep. I woke up, went through my whole day, went to like the office, like the real estate office, and, like, whatever, like came home, cleaned up, had dinner, waited, went to sleep, and then at 6 a.m. he stumbles in. Literally, poor baby.
And I caught a cold.
Literally, got a cold.
Wait, you came home at 6 a.m.?
6 a.m., yeah.
When it's hours like that, you literally, like, they start to fucking blend together, and you're just like, I don't even remember what day was what day, honestly.
But is, like, time and a half really worth, like, fucking your schedule up for a whole week? Like, that's the thing.
Like showing my work.
Well, it's like depending on the situation, you know. Like, I guess like if it's on a week where you've been doing a lot of sets, you're like, nah, no, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna. But it's like if it's like a slow month and you're like, especially when you're freelancing, it's like, okay, I need to take the gig.
So
then you do it.
Yeah,
but it's like it doesn't mean you want to be overworked and like slaved around. Like, that's not cool either.
But the thing is, it almost comes like you don't really have a choice. If you haven't worked all month, of course you're gonna have to do it. Right? How are you gonna pay rent?
That's literally why I got a job. Like, I stopped freelancing because of this exact reason, because it was too risky every month to just like freelance like that.
Exactly.
Because like some months I was like, oh, this is fucking great. I was like, this is cool. Like, I can do this. And then some months I'd be like, it's so scarce. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't like feel like, for me, it was too stressful feeling like that. Like feeling like 1 month it's cool, 1 month it's not cool. Because it's like it fluctuated so crazy. Like it was just so up and down. So that's why I was like, okay, I need something more steady. And that's when I started looking for like a job. I was very hesitant about like something outside of the film industry because I was worried I was going to get stuck.
Yeah, that's
because that happens too. Yeah, and I was so like, it was so fucking hard. Like, you know, and it took me a lot longer to find like a job. I feel like because I was like more picky about it. I was like, it needs to be in the industry. It needs to be in the industry. And it's still not even like I found something, but it's like something. So doing COVID testing, but it's close.
It's close enough. At least you get to.
It's like in the vicinity.
Yeah, exactly.
In the building. You are meeting a lot of cool people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as long as I can make something out of it, like, and make the best of it, like, I feel like that's okay. And as long as it's helping me pay rent too,
of course.
But like, so 2021 for me, I felt like it's been my rebuild year.
Yeah,
like,
I feel that. You know, I feel that for a lot of people too.
We're digging ourselves out of the gutter again, and I was working on sets, which felt really good. It wasn't making any money, but it was like, holy fuck, I'm doing something now. Depending on the person, I will like, unless they offer like my services for them, especially how close they are, I won't expect like payment from them because I feel like we've been through enough to like show that.
But when it's like expected from certain people, it's kind of
if it's expected, like
or if it's like bigger companies,
if it's like someone else, like random, like I'm not gonna pay you.
You're like, what? Yeah, exactly.
But if it's like you or Chen, I'll be like girl, like if you can,
they'll come around in another way.
Yeah, like, I know that you're not trying to be like malicious and be like, I ain't gonna pay this. What the fuck?
Right.
It's like if you can, you can.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so like that's how I always look at it as. But with these PA jobs, it was just definitely trying to get the experience because you know how they always say, it's like, get the PA job so you can get experience.
Do you still feel like it's like that though? Like,
no,
do you really honestly feel like you got any experience from all those PA jobs that you did?
It's like meeting cool people, but like the fucking.
To be honest, all the people that I met there, I'm like none of those people like called me back.
It's so cliquey. I met some cool people who just worked on a powdered milk commercial like a couple days ago.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And like the producer and a couple of PAs were super swell people. And the assistant director. Super cool people. I fucked with them hard. Like I was like, if you ever need any help again, like
if you ever need to get hard,
I know, right? If you need to get hard,
no, but like the commercial. Like those people are like, hey, thanks you. They don't even know my fucking name.
I know. It's like really
made me like pick up like 10 tables on my back. You saw me literally
go back. Literally sweating my ass off.
All you said was like it's like a whole bunch of like respecting like
that's what they said when we were working that one set. They're like, thank you so much for your hard work. Hopefully we see you again. And I'm like, you don't even know my name.
Exactly. For $100 you couldn't tell me like my first, middle, or last name.
Hey, you go move that fucking dumpster.
Like, and literally 5 times throughout the day, be like, what was your name again? Like they'll say it, like they'll ask me, and I'm like, Priscilla.
It's a lot of brown nose, you know. I feel like in
they literally want you to like suck ass. So like,
but that's why I hate it too. Like, God, your egos, and it's just like what, like,
dude, I'm like literally breaking.
But it's
my
like
back.
it's like you're not even hiring these people because they're good. You're hiring them because they're literally kissing your ass.
And,
exactly.
No, like there's that and that too. Yeah.
It's like everything. I feel like every angle. If you're not getting hired off of nepotism, you're getting hired because you're like expendable or because you're kissing ass. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow. So you're not hiring off of dedication or like, you know,
skill.
Exactly. Dedication, skill, talent.
Like your school and resume don't mean shit. Like honestly, no one has asked me, where'd you go to school? Do you have a bachelor's degree? Like no one fucking cares.
No one cares. I mean, you were able to get that experience, thank goodness. But like,
I'm happy because I'm like, okay, I really didn't know anything about film.
Like narrative stuff. I think commercial stuff, it's so quick and it's like 2 days, 2 days of work and that's it.
But it's a different
Whereas
beast.
for you, it's like 4 months. It's like you always get to meet people somewhat there. Like,
that's true. Like
for me, it's like I'm never going to see you again. I'm never going to see you again.
Do you prefer that though? Do you like working in those types of sets?
I have to try out your side.
Yeah,
I haven't had to.
I feel like it's going to be one of 2 things. It's you either are so lucky and you have a great crew and it's an awesome time and you all miss each other and cry, or you're like, I can't wait for this to end. These bitches suck. I hate it.
Which I've heard a lot of stories about.
Yes.
As of recently, like I had a friend work on Westworld, and he said it was literally like he was like in the same boat as me, where he wanted to like try out PA work and like COVID compliance work. Yeah. And he said that he was on Westworld, and he was like, that was such a bad set that it made like Knife and Mise en Scène sets look
no.
It was so bad that he said he'd never take a job like that again.
Oh my god! And honestly, it only takes one set to fuck really fuck your day up and like your perspective.
I dealt with a celebrity
or one person
or a masterclass, and I think I told you. Paige knows the stories for sure.
We won't name any names.
We won't name any names.
Yeah, a human being can be like that to another.
No, really,
it's fucking crazy. Shot Peekaboo 3. It came out like a week before Halloween.
Yeah,
that was the first one that school didn't make me do, so I got to like be extra.
How much time you spent on this one versus because you said you spent like a day writing.
You did a lot of writing and like prep work for it, and then the actual shooting was 5 days, but it was spread out over a 2-week period because it was a lower budget
course.
There was no budget, basically.
Well, yeah, but okay.
Which is even more amazing. Like, you're making it work with no budget.
Yeah, actually, we did the math. It was $800.
$800, dude.
Because it was we just paid for everything ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like $800.
I know, it's like when you literally fucking use your own card and you're just like, I hope this pays off.
You're like shaking. You're like,
pays off.
Here you go.
Honestly, the money literally went to the makeup artist and food. That was it.
Yeah.
Everything else was stuff that we had and we had to figure it out. And our amazing
food, love, and dedication, and amazing actors.
People straight up love and like I've been like like her like on my
It's funny how the world intersects, actually, just to mention that. So, like, I work at the real estate office. Shout out Grandview Realty.
Yes, which we shot there. And I was in Peekaboo. But
so, again, the world is so small. So, Peekaboo 3 was shot at or some scenes were shot at my real estate office, Grandview Realty Glendale.
Yes.
Shout out Michael.
Shout out Michael.
Shout out Michael.
And then Priscilla and her brother were actors/extras in it. And so we shot there. And the lead actress is the girlfriend of one of my coworkers, an agent named Samir, who's also an actor. Mm-hmm. So I came to Jose and I was like, hey, like, I know we're like doing this. We're trying to keep it like close in the family, all that. My coworker and his girl are really cool and talented. And so they got hooked up with that. And then just like everybody ended up, Chase came back. Chase has been in almost every
full circle.
Chase was in Desolate. You'll see him looking like the Winter Soldier. Shout out Chase again. Hans is also in Desolate. Shout out Hans. Then Chase also came back to be in Peekaboo 3. And so it's just like, I feel like it's so crazy how like small the world is when like you think about it like that.
Yeah. But like when you work well with people, it's like it's good to like keep working and then like eventually something hopefully will hit, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like I feel like that's how it happens with a lot of like actors and filmmakers that have like kind of they work with like 4 or 5 people really well and they just kind of like filter through each other and then eventually one of their projects.
So that was Peekaboo 3 came out. I was proud of it. Like definitely like it has like its problems that I personally wish I could refix, but for what it was amazing. I loved the experience.
I did rush him. I was like, if we're shooting this.
We had the deadline to release it before Halloween, and so we were just trying to scrounge it up. Like, we
based on stats, he like was saying that like it always does better numbers around Halloween. If everyone's going to come back for Peekaboo 1, maybe we should post it with like 10 or 11 days before to like, do it. But the thing was,
like at 7K. It's not bad.
Yeah. I'm sure between here and next year,
like it took Peekaboo 1 a year to hit. It got big.
I'm like anything. Yeah, I'm like 7K sounds good to me.
Exactly.
So check out Peekaboo. There was a lot of
I'm gonna put the link in the back in the handle so like you can just click it, go straight to it.
You can see Priscilla's face.
Yes. Oh my god, I was so scared when you asked me to act in it. I was like,
you're great.
I don't act, but especially when you're like, hey, like I don't know anyone else that looks like the main actress, and I was like, well, I'm gonna obviously try to help him out. Like I don't want to. I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do it, and then try to find someone that like. But I was so nervous. I was like, I don't act,
dude. Meet her, by the way?
Did I what?
Did I ever meet the actress?
Did I meet the actress?
Yeah.
No, I never met her.
Well, technically, the Peekaboo 3 is really Peekaboo 1.
Yeah.
If you watch it in chronological order.
Oh, okay.
Peekaboo 3, Peekaboo 1, Peekaboo 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, but definitely, I wouldn't make another one unless it was a feature, and I was
to make the feature. Which is definitely possible.
Yeah.
So
there's so many. Like I said, this idea was built off of the cliches of the horror genre. As more of a celebration of these like kind of cheesy.
Yeah, and the fact that it started as a school project and it has like
what it developed into.
There's a ton of different projects or other horror shorts that I want to do.
You want to move on to something.
Move on. It's the end of
Okay. It had a good run, right?
Maybe if there's enough
over the last 4 years, technically,
if there's enough people that want the feature,
then we'll see it.
Rich people hit me up.
Hit up Laserbot Films.
Yeah. www.laserbotfilms.com.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And but there's more horror, there's more action stuff coming up soon. I got some stuff planned like literally in the beginning of the year that we're gonna hit up. And my producer right here already helped me.
Dude,
half the film, so we're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
But with Serenity,
well, for Serenity, so I was directing this. One of my family friends came to me and was like, "Can you help me direct this story that's based off of my comic book?" And that's how Serenity like came to be, which I talked about on a couple episodes on the podcast about Serenity and like the whole filming aspect of it, all that. There's definitely some highs and lows, which you're gonna get that experience when you have a big well, it wasn't even that it was a big film set. It was just like when you're working with more than 20 people, there's going to be different personalities.
And you're coming all the way from LA to San Francisco to do it.
And just money.
Which was like crazy because that was like the first time I've ever had to like organize like travel for a crew. Like, okay, like I love planning travel for myself. but for a whole crew, I was like, shit, save me. Like I was like looking at different flights, comparing prices. I was like, is this the most affordable or is this one? Because like at the same time, like it wasn't my money, it was like, even though I was directing, I was also co-producing. So it was like I was like dealing with someone else's money, and when you're dealing with someone else's money, you don't want to just be spending it, like on random shit. Not that I would be spending on random shit, but you want to make sure that it's going to the right places. Especially I wanted to make sure because I've had bad experiences with my first film, like when I kind of got fucked over money wise by trusting, like they'll take care of it, and then they kind of fucked me over there, which I talked about too. But anyway, I just kind of want to recap that because I haven't been able to get you guys in here forever. It's literally easier to get Kylie Jenner in here than Jose. I'm like, hey, you guys free? Hey, you guys free? Like, no, sorry. But yeah, so Jose was script supervising, I was directing, and Paige was CCO, COVID compliance officer, which I'm hoping that we don't have to do that much longer, but definitely. It is a cool position to have.
Of course, your blood's in it. You also PA.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
I go back to my roots. My roots are always PA. So.
Yes, I know. That's the cool thing about Paige. She literally, I was going to say she goes both ways. She's flexible. She can do it all.
I'm flexible. I go both ways.
Which is really like what you need on set. Like it's like, especially when it's a smaller budget independent set, it really helps when more people can do like more than just one position. Obviously, like on bigger sets, like that's not expected. Like they really want you to only do what you got hired to do there, and it's like if you almost like help someone else, like
whoa,
it's like you don't know, like they almost treat you like you don't know what you're doing. Like please stop, like just do what you need to do here, Yeah. So it's just like so interesting how that switches, but. My experience, I was like, there's a lot of moments where I was like, fuck, like I'm the director, I have to like handle it a certain way or like keep the peace in a certain way. But it's also like, sometimes there are moments where I felt like shit, like, the male ego is pretty strong here.
Very validating you.
Hey, I've shot more than you, right?
And I know like when I get asked my age, like, so how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 25, or like at the time, like 24. It's almost like, oh, like, what do you know? And, like, I am young, but I've seen shit, I've experienced shit, and I honestly really try to put myself in people's point, like, in their perspective, in their shoes, because I feel like that's what you have to do as a director, like, to really understand and, like, really bring a story to life. Like, you can't just be so, like, oh, this is just my experience, and, like, this is all I've seen, and blah, blah. Like, you have to be more open-minded, and, like, I don't know, it really bothers me when I, like, have gotten that kind of, like, energy from certain men. And I don't know. I just like I kind of felt that on like Serenity, like especially like we said, like the above the line. Like I felt a lot of like that, like entitlement, like of like, oh, I'm higher up, so I can talk to you this way, or like like, or I've been in the like industry for 10, 15 years, so like I know how it's done. It's like, okay, cool. Like it might have been like that, like when you did it, but like maybe we can try something different here. Or like there was this one part when I was directing and someone yelled like cut for me, and I literally was like, the fucking disrespect, because you would never see that on a male set. You would never, like, nobody would fucking yell cut for a male director ever, that would never happen. So when that happened to me, I'm not gonna say who, because like you'll be able to find out who on IMDb. You'll see the like fucking crew list. But someone above the line, I'll just say that someone above the line yelled cut while we were shooting. And to me, that was a slap in the face. That was, like, super disrespectful, because not only, like, did I trust that this person would respect me, but I also trusted from, like, my crew that, like, they would have, like, the people we'd bring on together would be, like, people that we could work well with and, like, trust, and everybody would have that respect. It was weird. Like, I feel like it started off good, and then it kind of just started like deteriorating. Like,
well, the thing is that like for me personally too, as a woman's perspective, on like doing like the jobs on the set, I got to see a lot of stuff. And like, granted, not every guy on there was bad. Like there were wonderful guys. I've known from several other sets that Jose's known for years. It's like it wasn't that, but there were these certain groups of people that every time there was an issue, it came back to them, and it really had to do with that line, because I know that Jose didn't have that bad of an experience with some of them. I think you had like one incident or two, but like for the most part you were all right. But a friend of his that was in the same class with his, that graduated at the same time as him, that was below the line, was treated so disrespectfully. And then I watched your assistant director, who was also a woman, get talked to so disrespectfully. And then even as a woman myself, where like I wanted to interject at times off of just things that I've heard them say that were just out of pocket, things that were just like, you can't talk like that. But of course, for the sake of like, you know, this was your project, I wasn't going to say anything, but I was just wanted to be like, what gave you the right?
There was no right. Like they should have never done that. And like, it would have never happened if it, like I said, if it was like a male director or whatever. And I did feel like all the women that were on that set were very strong-minded, you know, opinionated, but like they're not going to shut the fuck up, right? And I feel like that was intimidating to some of the guys
definitely
that were on that set, because I don't think they were used to working with women, girls, or whatever, like that had that strong voice and like opinion, and were like, hey, like, you know, this is, we got to do this or that, or like we're running late, and like it's almost like they felt like, don't tell me what to do, but it's like it's not, we're not telling you what to do, it's a fucking film set and we're working, we got to stay on schedule, shit needs to get done. And honestly, like I'm glad that she did do that, because we were so late and behind in moments. Like there was a lot of shots and like certain scenes that got cut short because like literally timing.
Well, someone admitted they didn't even bother reading the shot list.
Exactly. So
let's just pretend. Let's not act like this was anybody else's fault, but the people that were responsible for these things. It's crazy to just think that like
and that's like another thing you learn in film school. It's like, oh, like make a shot list. Like your whole crew's gonna look at it, especially like the DP, like the, you know, everyone who needs to look at it is gonna look at it to figure out like what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
And so it's like when you hear like, oh, certain people aren't doing what they're supposed to because they feel like entitled, or they don't have to because like they've been doing this, you know, and their
ideas are better, but this isn't your idea. You should have
like,
funded your own movie.
You're working with
then.
Other people, so it's like you can't be entitled like that. You can't have opinions like that, because it's like it's not your film, you know, like this is literally like a project where you're working with other people. So it's like, you can't be like, oh no, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You were hired
to listen to what the director has to say. And there should have been no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just the words that I heard used to describe the AD really bothered me, because I'm like, I know that if it was a man saying it, they would have never said those things. And that's what bothered me. But that surprisingly, for the final wrap up for your lovely podcast audience, I don't know if that was the weirdest or worst part of it.
It honestly was. Okay, so honestly, so much happened in that like set experience. That's why I'm just like, I don't even know how to explain that like set experience, because I'm like, I feel like weird is a good word, because it wasn't like it was like scary or like horrible. It was just like a lot of weird experiences, like where I was just like, what the fuck's happening? Like, because I'm so used.
Oh shit! I forgot.
Yeah, we're gonna end it. We have so many, like, you know, we're working on like a lot of film sets together where like everyone knows each other.
Like a scary story.
Dude, it is a scary.
The white van man.
Dude, it is a fucking scary. It is a scary story.
This is the tale of the white man.
So get ready, guys. We literally experienced a full-on creep on set. Like, you would think you'd be safe on set. You're not. So, there was a group of guys, actors, working. They were like, they're gonna be the bad guys in the film, right? And there was this one bad guy who suggested his friend, I'm gonna say friend or acquaintance, I don't know.
I guess he just knew him.
He just knew this person that was like
a photographer, because the guy found him and was gonna hire him to be like a main actor in his role, and that guy was very eager to be in the movie. So
okay, so an eager actor meets an eager photographer, and somehow the eager actor told me, hey, like, you know, if when we're gonna be in San Francisco, if you need any behind the scenes photos, I know a photographer there, like, you know. And to me, that sounded good. It sounded exciting. I didn't have a BTS guy. I literally was like, I can't hire an extra person for that. I was like, unless I remember, or we just get photos like as we go, like that's going to be the behind the scenes. Like that's kind of how it was going to go down. But when he suggested that, I was like, okay, of course. Like, who doesn't want behind the scenes photos? Like, it's always nice to have like professional photos of like, you know, just for memories and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, I'm down. And then I didn't think much of it until we got to San Francisco, and it was time for that guy to show up and take the photos. And the day that he was coming, we were in an apartment in San Francisco, like on the 7th or 8th floor. Who fucking knows? Like tiny elevator to get up, like old school elevator. And my phone keeps like vibrating, and I'm just like, who's calling? Because I had totally forgot. You know? I'm like, who the fuck's calling? And then I'm not answering because I'm like, I'm busy. And then I get a text, and it's like, hey, like, this is blah, 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 so-and-so, here, take the photos.
Which was weird also because his name was like, it was like so John Doe-y. It was like,
yeah, it was just
it was
so,
like, my name is like
John Miller.
Mark Smith.
Yeah, but it wasn't Mark Smith.
Yeah.
But shout out to no Mark Smith being hard.
All the Mark Smiths are going to get like attacked on Facebook.
It was like a name that
non-distinct.
Like,
non-distinct.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically I was like, all right, he's here, like still not thinking anything crazy. I was like, we're shooting right now. Can you wait till I can come get you? We're on the 7th floor. So I'm thinking he's waiting down there for me to come get him. No, he comes up while we're in the middle of a take. Mind you, I literally texted, hey, we're shooting right now. Like, I'll come down to you. Don't interrupt the scene, right? And thinking that, like, they know about film terms and how it works. I kind of expected him to know, but he comes up literally in the middle of a take.
With, like, groceries in his hand.
Like, literally in his bag, like, heavy bags, big boots. So he was making, like, a lot of noise and totally ruined the sound of that scene. And I was like, we're just like, who is this guy? We
thought it was the producer.
No, we thought it was like an owner, right?
I thought it was one of the owners or something.
Or the dad.
I thought it was the comic book artist's dad.
Right. We thought it was someone's dad because of the way we were just like, oh, they don't know.
Well, the casual ignorance that came with it.
Right.
Made me go, you definitely don't know anything about this stuff.
Yes. He just walks in so like, like I'm here. And I was like, wait, what? Like, and I didn't think it could be him because I was like, I literally just texted him. And so turns out it was him. And he's like, I'm here to take the photos. And I was like, okay, we're like literally shooting right now. So like, you're going to have to wait till we're like done like with this take. So then he ends up waiting in the corner and then we're done with the scene. And he starts like taking the photos, which is fine. But he was like kind of like in the way of just like everything. Like we'd be trying to set up it. Like, mind you, the San Francisco apartment is not big. Like, it's like, I mean, it's big, but it's not when you're shooting. He's just like standing there, and then eventually we're like, oh, let's just go take photos outside because like we were just like going to be done with this like location anyway. And then Paige is like, I know that guy. I recognize him.
Well, you forgot what he did inside the apartment.
Oh, yeah. He kept pulling all the female crew members and actresses aside and was like, I'm going to take photos of you. I'm going to take behind the scenes photos of you. So obviously everyone's like, okay, sure. It's like behind the scenes photos. Mm-hmm. But then it was like, he was like telling my actress to like lay down, like and pose like this and like just like very seductive, like sexual poses that like
for no reason.
Yeah. Like had nothing to do with like the behind the scenes at all. Like nobody was asking for like fucking model pictures by the pool.
I was there to witness one of the weird ones when he went up to the facility. He goes, so, you ever take pictures in a bikini?
Yeah.
And he asked you that too, right?
I'm trying to be. I think so. I'm trying to be professional / like,
I
nice.
saw your face. I remember the moment he asked. He's like, "Oh, like
immediate awkward,
like bikini pictures," and then you're just like,
yeah.
What? And then you're like so
I literally was like, okay, I think I gotta go over there. Like,
and I think the moment he did that, Paige caught on because he did that to Paige. And just, like, shut it down. Like, leave me alone.
She knew right away. And like once we had the convection of like, oh,
he was asking me to take pictures of me, and I just flat out said no. He's like, oh, just one or two. I said no. I just kept saying no to him. I was like, I know that you think whatever, but I just said no.
It's
because
like no.
I just don't want this guy to have these pictures. Yeah. Because at first I was just, he's just a regular weird guy. He's gonna like maybe jerk off to all of us,
which is
like
gross. I don't
disgusting. Anyway, but like, theoretically any picture I've posted online somebody could
but it's like no, like you don't want them to like, it's like and it's like you posted that photo online for yourself and like I looked hot in that photo, I want to post it, but it's like having some old guy take a photo.
It's just
have
it
on
a screen.
You know what I mean? And then Paige is just like, I know this guy, he looks familiar, and I'm just like, you know this guy.
Something about him.
I was like, how do you know him? I was
way.
like, we're in San Francisco right now.
And like
we live in LA. Like, it makes
his vibes throughout the whole time
were
before the
so
big
weird.
reveal were fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
So sorry, continue.
No, they were weird.
Like, it was just so off.
It was so off. Like I feel like everyone felt like the vibes. Like not just the girls. Like everybody felt like.
I saw it instantly. I was there when he asked you about the bikini.
I was like,
bro, this is the director. Why are you being like
I'm directing a project, and he's asking me if I wanted to be in a bikini in his film, and I was like, no.
Oh, that's what it was.
I was honestly almost insulted by that. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah. Like, no, I was like, what the
that
fuck,
is
man?
So crazy. Like, I don't think you would ever hear, like, imagine that would happen to a guy? Hey, you're the male director.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you wear a thong in my movie and
exactly.
Your ass? It's like, what? You would never do that.
Straight up, yeah. It was so
but yeah, so tell us how you...
Well, so the thing was that, like, he was making everybody feel weird. And, like, I have, like, two brain cells that, like, smack together in my head. Like, I can't remember anything for the life of me. Like, it sounds like I do because I've been talking this whole time, but really I don't.
Right.
And something about it was just, like, I heard this echoing in my ear. And he had given Jose his card.
He wanted me to crew in his
film. And so Jose was like, all right, man.
Hamburger Boy.
Oh, God.
You won't find that anywhere. Trust, I did already.
I know.
It's called Hamburger Boy.
What was it? He gave him the card, and then it was just a weird card. Like, it was like, as Jose, you could say what the card looked like.
Right, let me
oh, God, yeah, please.
So this guy gave me his business card, and it was the weirdest thing ever. So it was neon colored, and it's
so creepy.
A picture of like a questionable woman,
questionably aged girl.
She was definitely underage. Yeah.
In a bikini,
definitely underage.
Like
posing seductively.
And that's when it hit us.
We could not tell if she was 18 or 12.
Right. Literally. And that was concerning.
And
very
concerning.
Like,
why do you lead with that? Why do you lead?
His name with photography and like
his name on top of the chest.
The graphic design was like super bad, and like it was just like I was like, what the fuck, man? This guy sucks.
Once I saw the card, I immediately my mood changed.
Your gut. Yeah. Like I saw the card and I looked at it.
Because I remember
like,
I handed it to you, right?
I went on a delay and I started like almost like not shaking, but I was like, you know when you like get excited, like good or bad, your adrenaline starts pumping. I was like, bro. So literally a week before this shoot in LA, I have a friend that works in Beverly Hills, and she was telling me about this guy that would come in and try to take pictures of all the girls that worked there, and that they had to
and he had a white van.
And he had a white van, and they literally had to like call the cops. The manager had to threaten him this or that. He followed my friend. She had to get walked to her car. She was afraid that this guy was going to follow her because he's like, oh, I'll just wait for you to get off work and I'll take pictures of you. Like literally so scary.
Yeah.
And she was telling me about this a week before we went up. I looked at the card. And something must have just clicked in my head. And I was just like...
Something clicked.
Oh, no. So I texted my friend, and I said, girl, I know this is a long shot because you said that this guy did this to you in LA, but like...
and we're in San Francisco.
But it's giving me the vibes. Like, when you told the story, just something about his connecting. I was like, let me send you the card. Tell me if it's familiar for any reason or the name or whatever.
Like, what the fuck?
What are the odds?
Small world.
I'm going, no way. She goes, what the fuck?
She calls you?
She calls me. She's like, what? Where did you get that? She's like, where did you get that? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, that's the guy that literally has been coming to my work. They had to have the managers get involved. They had to like threaten to call the police, this or that. He stands out there. He asks all this. I was like, she's like, where did you get that? I was like, he's our BTS guy. And she goes, whoa.
How did this happen?
How did this happen? And then, of course, it was, you know, just a accidental but unreliable referral. Right. And this guy...
At the same time, while we're finding out, he's taking pictures of the main
of
actress, like on the trees. Like,
I know, being all and he kept asking me to pull me aside and like take photos of me, and I was like, oh, you can take photos of me sitting.
Did he
like
send you pictures?
No,
of course not.
I never got those photos. But he's like, I was like, oh, you can take photos of me sitting in the director's chair, but I was like, I don't need photos of me standing by myself. Like, I was like, this isn't a photo shoot, right? So like, I could tell like the intentions weren't genuine and pure. Like, it felt off, you know. And when
is that when you told Priscilla about it?
I immediately
when you showed me the business card,
she got some type of way, and then I told her, hey, like, you're not gonna believe that. And Priscilla, you need to talk to her. Like, like,
that card on me.
No, if you have that in your pocket,
don't advertise that shit.
I gave the card to my mom, and like I told her, I was like, hold on to this.
Oh
my mom would hate. She would get so mad if she saw that. Like, I literally have no patience or tolerance for like that kind of stuff. Like, it just, for me, it was the picture of the really young looking girl on the card, because it just didn't seem right to be advertising it in that way. It seemed
next to a pool too.
There were so many other pictures.
Yeah, there's just so many other photos,
like,
and then
why?
And then, you know, it definitely put me in an awkward situation, because it's like, here I have to deal with now the possible safety of the female crew members, but also, how do I tell this older gentleman, like, hey, you need to leave?
Who drove up from LA to San Francisco to do this in a big white van. He couldn't wait to get up here and work on that. That's all I'm going to say. I was like, what are the odds? But you know what? Creeps will drive 400 miles just to be creepy. So be diligent in who you're screening, because I cannot believe that within a week of hearing that story, because if our friend didn't tell us that,
we wouldn't have known.
We would have just been like, yeah, it's just a creepy old guy. What else is new? But like, the fact that...
And we would have let him come to the other days.
Exactly. The fact that like it was the creepy vibes on set, asking to take pictures of only the girls.
And only the girls. There was no pictures of Jose.
Exactly. None of the guys wanted their pretty little face. Oh, they definitely didn't know what he was missing. Jose's ass is on fire.
Yeah.
No, so how'd you handle this? What'd you do?
Dude, at first I froze and I was panicked because I was just like, this is not happening right now.
Because you were on a FaceTime with her too. Because like I had my phone still, right?
Well, but it was just like, okay, like,
yeah,
it's like I get it happening at a party, like some fucking creep showing up. I get happening like just. But I was like,
this
really?
400 miles
I was like, really on the set that I'm directing, and I'm like, I don't even know who he is, and now he has this. But I literally at that moment I was like, I attract creepy old men because I do because when I was 18 I had a stalker. It literally reminded. It took me back to. I think that's why I was so like frozen and on guard about like just like what's happening because like it literally happened to me when I was 18. I had a stalker. He was like following me around like. He knew everything about me, like, for 2 months. So I literally was, like, just, like, fuck no. Like, this is not happening again. You know what I mean? This is, like, inappropriate. I didn't like the whole card situation because I'm, like, I have little siblings. I'm super against that. Like, I'm not into that at all. So immediately I was, like, once we confirmed it with everyone, I was just, like, I told, actually, the producer, I was, like, I don't want him coming to the next location. So just don't give it to him if he texts you. Don't, like, let him know. And then I told him, I was, like, yeah, I was like, thank you. This is all we need for the first, like, for this location. We don't need any more photos. I'll let you know for tomorrow. And then I just never did. But he was trying to contact me. He was trying to, like, see us the next day and, like, take photos. But I just felt uncomfortable.
No, that was San Francisco. Never mind. He was trying to meet up with you in the LA location.
Yeah, and so I thought, I was silly me thinking like somebody would get the hint of me go, when I go. I don't mean
the LA location doesn't bother me as much. We had a child on set for the second day or the third day.
The LA location was in fucking middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Right, no, that's true. Right. I don't think he would have done anything, but you never know.
Right, he had a van full of a lot of stuff.
That's so the next day we were just like, it doesn't feel right to have him around like a little girl. Like we're gonna have kids in the next time we're shooting. Also, like it's just like it was already weird vibes from when he already had shown up and took those photos. So it was like, why put ourselves in a situation we don't want to be in? Exactly. I was like, let's not, like, we already saw the creepy vibes. We all felt the same way. Like if everyone feels the same way, it's probably true. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to discredit like every female feeling that way.
These kind of weirdos is they don't realize how weird they are.
And I think the problem is no one tells them like, hey, it's weird. Which I'm like guilty of not doing, but it's like intimidating in the moment. You feel so intimidated. It's like, what the fuck? Exactly. You're when it's happening, you're just like, what the fuck's happening? Is this really happening?
Well, we would have.
And then you like when he hovered over you, he goes, "I like your nails."
Oh yeah. I used to have like the nice Gel X acrylic nails, and he like made a comment. Yeah, I did that.
No, dude. Like I feel like
you're gorgeous.
Like having to learn just to like put men in their place when something's inappropriate. It's like it's hard, but we have to start doing it, especially on film sets because
but I think it happens all the time.
All the fucking assholes that are like that, they fucking rot and leave.
Yeah, it's gross.
From a man's mouth, y'all better
listen.
Get rid of all those guys. You're straight up, man. Like you cannot allow those type of people, man. I met that guy, and I personally met other guys that are just as bad like that.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. But the thing is that if I didn't call my friend, like our friend, if she didn't verify, we would have still had it.
I know.
Because we would have just been like, brush it off.
We would have just dealt with it again.
Guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, no. We've got like...
Imagine him in the RV when we were in the LA.
Oh my God. There was a day we were at the cave and we had it was all outside and we just had one RV trailer. So just like imagining putting like that person with like, other females in a confined little space when it's like windy and you have to really be in there. Like, that wouldn't have been the right thing to do. And then having him around kids, like I wouldn't have felt good as like a person. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm sure like that person hates me now and talks shit about me. Like, oh, she didn't meet,
please.
But it's like, I'd rather have that
if you're a borderline questionably.
If you're questionably pedophilic.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to get a trigger word, but if you are questionably pedophilic and you were making women uncomfortable, you don't need an explanation. Goodbye.
That's fair. I think that like we've been raised or accustomed to just always like, oh, like, you know, explain yourself. But it's like, no, you're just fucking creepy. We don't have to explain that situation. Like,
sources.
Yeah, exactly. If guys even agree, like, then it's like, you know, we weren't tripping. Like, it was legit happening.
Exactly.
But so before we wrap up, we don't have to go into it too much because obviously we have so much still to do with this documentary, but obviously we've already started posting a little bit about it. But if you don't know, we're doing a documentary.
Our first feature.
I'm so excited because as you have heard, like, we've literally been on like a 4-year journey together, you know, started film school. I mean, with Paige, it's been like 2.5, 3 years with me and her, like with them, probably 3 years. But yeah, so it's just been really nice to like have this journey together and just see like how each project like progresses and like the different opportunities and different like experiences we have from these projects. So it's, you know, really exciting to just sit here and kind of reflect on the year. Cause I feel like, yeah, this was like a rebuild year and like, you know, we're all just trying to like figure shit out after COVID, but I feel like it was a really good year for us too. Like you did Peekaboo. We did Serenity. You did Peekaboo 3. We worked on like other projects, like other positions that made us break our backs, but it was fine. It was also part of the experience, right? We did the Spirit music video. Like, we did that.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, we did do that.
So it's like there was a lot of stuff that we, you know, did this year, and then like it's nice to like end the year with this, you know, our first featured documentary. And like what's crazy is that like this literally was an idea in my head, like maybe like 3 months ago. Like I was like, I really want to shoot a documentary. Didn't think it would be possible. But thankfully to you guys, it is possible because like we talked about earlier, having that, you know, solid crew and friendship that you like trust people to work, you know, well with, especially when you have a low budget or almost no budget. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, these are two people that understand. And I understand too, because we've helped each other on each other's projects where it's literally like, hey, we have no money, but like we have this like, we were sitting on something with this passion, like this might be something great and hopefully it turns out to be beneficial in the long run. Definitely. So basically we're on this new journey together. Jose is DPing, and like I said, and Paige mentioned earlier, she's my assistant director. Her first time assistant. Right? Yeah, it's your first time, right?
First time assistant director. Yeah. I've done some producing with Jose a lot more recently, 2020 to 2021. I did a lot more producing, which was like a higher level responsibility.
Yeah, you've literally worked your way up too. You've done PA, you've done COVID compliance, you've done makeup, you've done producing.
Wow, you're right. Yeah,
and now you're assistant directing.
Oh, wow.
So
look at that list. Priscilla knows that list better than me. Thank you.
Your journey. We are reflecting and looking back. It's like not only was this a journey for Jose, but it was a journey for you too. Like you literally like worked your way up the ladder, not in film school, but outside of film school, which is like
she literally got her own film school.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like you're literally a perfect like case to show. It's like you don't need to go to film school, and you can still like, you know, learn, pick it up, and like just get it from experience and just being into it, you know, and like having the passion as well. So
absolutely,
I feel like that needs a round of applause because that's, you know, like that's not every day that someone just like, because your thing is real estate, and then you're also like totally into the like you can help out any position out in the film industry, which is like huge.
I love that.
Not anybody could do that. So
but that's the thing, is that one hand will wash the other. Clearly, my coworker's an actor, so brought him on for a movie, and people that are making good movies, they need a place to live. So one hand's always washing the other. So I get to do two things I love, and they get to be mutually beneficial. And obviously helping you guys out is amazing.
Yeah, and then obviously us working together, and then seeing Jose's, you know, journey, and just like just from starting film school together, it's crazy. Like where we're at now, and I really believe 2022 is going to have even bigger and more exciting things. So hopefully with this documentary, we'll see it on a big streaming platform. Obviously, I'm scared because I've never like done anything like this before, but luckily with a good team and honestly just putting in the work and the passion, I do believe like this is going to be something great. It's a topic that means a lot to me and is very close to my heart. It's going to be about the drug epidemic. So covering something so sensitive, like, you know, it's nice to have a team and friends around that you trust and work well with, because it's like you have to like choose who you work with, who you work well with and who you don't, which I've learned a lot this year. Like all these different sets that we've mentioned, I'm like, okay, like honestly, I feel like you guys were on honestly all of them. Like wait a minute, you guys were always there. Yeah,
I don't think we've done one set without Priscilla.
I don't think
by accident you worked with her.
Yeah, literally.
When they told me that you were gonna be there, I was like, How did that happen?
No, so it's like, it's just so, I feel like it was so eye-opening, and like, even though I didn't notice it as it was happening, now looking back and like sitting, I'm just like, and reflecting, I'm like, wow, like, you know, these are two people that I can work really well with, and they're solid, and like, that counts for something. And like, I see that, and I remember that. So as soon as I got the opportunity to do this documentary, I was like, who can I have by my side? So immediately I thought of you guys. So I'm so happy you guys accepted, and we're on this journey together.
And it's an honor to have this as my first feature, because just the topic itself is something that's so important, especially now with this whole thing going on. It's an honor for me to have this as my first feature. I'm happy, and the opportunities that just keep showing during this process of this documentary are insane.
And honestly, really just putting yourself out there. Like, I feel like I told you guys, I was like, I got this opportunity because I saw an opportunity, and I just was like, I'm going to go for it. Like, there's been many times where I've reached out and emailed, and I've gotten rejected, never got, like you said, like, they just don't respond. And it's like, it's fine. Like, you just take it. But in this situation, someone gave me a chance. Someone responded. Somebody was like, okay, like, you know what? I like what you are thinking, what you want to do here. Like, let's try to make it happen. And then it's just been growing and growing into bigger and better things, because I feel like more creative heads are coming together, and more passion and more love and everything. So it's just like, it's really exciting to see it all come together. And even with you, and like, you've been taking, I feel like you've been, well, I know, but you've been taking major risks too. And like, I feel like it all starts with a message. It all starts with sliding into the DMs.
I was gonna say, I know that was the thing, but don't slide into DMs. Maybe you should slide. Maybe you should
slide in the DMs.
You got nothing to lose. Honestly, you'll just be exactly where you were. Even if they don't respond, but they say no, you're exactly where you were before. Take your chance.
It's like slide in the DMs, but don't make it like creepy or sexual. Right?
Exactly. Like, and you're good. Who doesn't want to?
If you're positive, or like you're throwing a work opportunity, like I'm like slide into my DMs. If you're gonna say something positive or give me a work opportunity, slide in my DMs all you want. Please.
Slide into all of our DMs, please.
All day long. Just slide into it. You know, maybe this will be our big jump step from, you know, short films to feature films.
Love that.
And hopefully we can come back on the podcast and talk about, you know, the journey of, well, not only shooting the documentary, because we've already started shooting, which is another cool thing. We've already probably shot like 50% of it. Honestly, things keep getting added. Like, I keep thinking we're going to be done, but then it's like, oh,
That's the thing with documentaries.
Exactly.
You never know what's going to come.
Exactly. Like, we're on this like wave right now where it's just like, we ask and they're like, yeah, why not?
Yeah. You're like, okay. So it's like, hey, if we can get these interviews, we're going to get as much content as we can. And obviously whatever we feel like will add and help the actual community and help end the epidemic, that's what we'll add in. And definitely. And the end goal at the end of the day is, you know, just to help save one life, because as you see every day in the news, you know, the drug epidemic keeps getting worse, and fentanyl is killing more people than COVID and cancer and all this shit. It's just crazy. So if you have any, you know, if you know anyone that's struggling, or you're struggling yourself, hopefully, you know, we can help you out with this documentary. Also, don't be afraid to reach out, because we know it's hard to have an addiction and fight it alone. So thank you guys so much for coming on. And
thank you,
I appreciate you guys so much starting the fucking podcast, and they literally starting the podcast.
See you at the end of season 2.
I know, or beginning of season 1. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna wait a whole year to get them back on here.
No, I'll make more time. I'm down.
After you guys get back from Brazil, all tan and shit, you guys.
Exactly.
Right.
Start the season 2, all nice and tan, and you know, skinny from our acai bowls in Brazil.
I love it. But again, thank you guys for being on the journey with me on every film set, and also with this podcast. This was a little COVID project, and now it's my little baby. So I have, you know, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys coming on and literally pushing me to do this. If you guys didn't like start it with me, like on the first episode, probably would have never done this podcast. So
awesome.
It's cool to see and have this journey and this experience. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for 50 episodes. And we'll be back in January for season 2. Bye. Thank you. Yay.